Right, it's Friday, guys.
Pound for pound,
I'll stay focused because we got football on here, and we play a little game called Book It or Forget It. I'm going to make a statement, and you guys tell us whether we are booking it or forgetting it.
Sure.
And you just saw that was Michael Bennett. Do you think he's the championship piece for your Dallas Cowboys?
Forget it. And I'm not saying that he's going to have a negative impact on the Dallas Cowboys. I like Michael Bennett as a person and as a player. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying that he's not the missing ingredient to success. Their issue is not him. Their issue is not their defensive line per se, in my estimation. When you think about the Dallas Cowboys, you got to pay attention to that secondary, and offensively, you got to pay attention to their, their quarterback and their receivers.
Forget it. He's not going to win the Super Bowl. But to me, it's not even about the Cowboys. This is about the Eagles. If you're a Philadelphia Eagles fan right now, Chris Long retires, so you trade Bennett. You do a deal with Bill Belichick. Usually, if Bill Belichick comes knocking, hey, I'll give you a fifth-round pick for this guy. I'll see you. I'll talk to someone else. And now Belichick's turning around and trading him to the Cowboys. Somehow you need a pass rush. Your guy retired, and the other guy you traded is going to play for your divisional rival. I would be hot if I was an Eagles fan right now.
Yeah.
Patriots host the Cowboys November 24th. What do we got here next? Book it or forget it, Max. The Patriots will beat the Browns by more than 2 touchdowns.
Forget it.
You're still on that train?
Yeah, I think I think the Browns have a sneaky good shot in an upset here.
No.
Yep, I do. The Patriots have played an awful schedule. The only good team they played are the Bills. They probably should have lost that game. And otherwise, they haven't played an NFL team. The Browns are very talented. Odell's not going, even with Gilmore shadowing him, he's not going to be quiet all season. There's a lot of pressure on that team to succeed. They have too much talent to be terrible all year. I'm not going to pick them to win, but they'll definitely beat the spread.
You kind of just
What's
picked
the
them to
spread?
win. 2 TDs.
That's a lot. I'm going to go with it. Book it. Here's the reason why. And I'll acknowledge there's some trepidation on this part. I think that the Browns could lose a close game. But I'm going to book it because I want to see more. And here's the thing. Freddie Kitchens against Bill Belichick might be the biggest mismatch of this entire NFL season. Freddie Kitchens against Bill Belichick. And with Baker Mayfield being an interception waiting to happen against that defense.
That's why you guys, I'm surprised by your response right now. I'm like, am I missing something? This is in New England.
Listen, this is New England.
Number 1 defense.
But it's 2 touchdowns. That's the only reason why. Everybody thinks that New England's going to win. You could say 7 to 10 points. But when you say 2 touchdowns, that's a lot. But I'm still going to book it because I think that defense is going to rattle Baker Mayfield and confuse Freddie Kitchens.
Look.
Sam Darnold saw ghosts.
Yeah, no doubt. Sam Darnold, and by the way, you're right, because Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, same draft class, another young quarterback. But the Browns have so much more talent than the Jets. When you look at the teams the Patriots have played, literally
I agree with
one
the schedule's
good team.
Weak. Yeah,
and they probably, and if that quarterback isn't in concussion protocol, there's a good chance they lose to the only good team they played.
But your argument goes out the window because you normally pick the Patriots to come out of the AFC. So no matter how weak their schedule is, come playoff time, they're not going against a weak team.
If you're asking me who do I think is better, I think the Patriots are better for the same reason you do.
They're in Foxborough.
And also the coach and everything. But what I'm saying is when you smell an upset sometimes, even though Belichick prepares the guys for a different team and they're always on their game and everything,
Come on, ride that train.
it'd be hard not to underestimate the Browns in these circumstances. And the Browns are playing for a lot right now.
Okay. Book it or forget it. The Texans will blow out the Raiders.
No, I'm going to say forget it. I don't think it's a blowout. I think Deshaun Watson is obviously very gifted. They struggled a little bit last week. I'm still not sold on Bill O'Brien. I think the Texans could win this game, but I'm certainly not going to assume that the Raiders are going to be blown out. I think that Mike Mayock and John Gruden are doing a good job, and I think that they've got the Raiders back in a competitive mode. Give credit where credit is due in that regard. I think this will be a relatively close game, although I think the Texans will win.
Max, book it. Oh, sorry, you didn't answer.
I would book it, actually. I don't like the Raiders' pass defense. And when you have Deshaun Watson and DeAndre Hopkins going against you, better have a good pass defense. I smell a blowout here, actually.
All right, book it or forget it. Will Russell Wilson throw for over 200 yards?
200 yards? Book it.
Yeah.
Book it.
Yeah.
That ain't even a
That's
question.
an easy one.
Book
All
it.
right, book it or forget it. The Saints should start Drew Brees Sunday against the Cardinals. Now, keep in mind.
In the first half, by the way. Against the Falcons, 200 yards in the first half, it should say.
Yeah, but keep in mind, no, it's the Cardinals this week, and then they have the bye, and then it would be the Falcons. So do you think they should start him?
I don't think they should start him. I think they should sit him. And listen, they're not going to jeopardize him. They wouldn't put Drew Brees in unless he was 100% because when you're 5-0 with Teddy Bridgewater, what's the urgency to put Drew Brees in? So obviously, if you're bringing him back, it's because you believe he's 100%. My point is, what's the harm in waiting a couple of more weeks? You got Arizona. You can win without him. You've got a bye week after that. That's 2 full weeks more that you can utilize that to rest and strengthen that thumb area as well. And I say that's the path I think that they should go in. I don't think that they should bring Drew Brees back now.
Easily book it for them to play, for them to sit Brees and start Brees. So I'm going to say forget it because there's no downside to starting Bridgewater. If you win, you give Drew Brees this week and the bye. Nice long rest. And what's been the criticism of Drew Brees? Like last year, he wore down as the season wore on in the playoffs. So you have a fresh Drew Brees going forward. And even in terms of like quarterback controversy, because usually if a guy goes 6-0, he keeps the job, but it's Drew Brees in New Orleans. On the other hand, if Teddy Bridgewater loses to Arizona, he's 5-1. You're sitting at 6-2. And now there's not that there would be a controversy anyway, but now it's very clear Drew Brees is getting the ball back when he comes back nice and healthy. Forget playing Drew Brees against the Cardinals. Bad idea.
All right, book it or forget it, Max. Saquon Barkley will be the best player on the field when the Giants face the Lions.
Saquon Barkley will be the best player on the field whenever he steps onto the field in any game. Who's better than Saquon Barkley? Book it.
Book it.
Okay.
Ain't nothing complicated about that. He's special.
Book it or forget it, Stephen A. The Panthers will end the 49ers' undefeated season.
Forget it. This is in San Fran. Outside of San Fran, about an hour away from San Fran.
St. Clair Stadium.
But I would tell you, I would say forget it. If they were in Carolina, I might have a different feeling about this. But in San Fran, I don't think that's going to be the case.
I'm right with you. Book it.
Right.
Forget it. Forget it for the exact same reason.
Yeah.
In San Fran will be the
They're
difference between two teams playing well.
Book it or forget it, Max. Dolphins will get their first win against the Steelers.
I'm so tempted to say book it.
So book it. Go with your heart.
No, because it's going to be too much fun to watch a winless team this year. The Dolphins at times have looked like the worst team ever. I'm going to say they're going winless this year. Forget it.
I'm going with the Steelers. They're my team, obviously. I'm not pleased with what has happened to them. They've got a third-string quarterback now, what have you. But the Dolphins are so pathetic, so moribund, so embarrassingly bad. And it hurts me to say that because, I personally don't like situations where you got a black GM, you got a black coach, and they're put in this kind of position where clearly Stephen Ross has the Miami Dolphins in rebuilding or retooling mode. And I know that they made some deals that's going to improve the team moving forward. But dealing with what they have to deal with this year, it bothers me.
Don't let Stephen Ross off the hook. Since when has Miami not been in a rebuilding mode since Dan Marino? I mean, they're always in a rebuilding mode. They're just, it's not rebuilding. It's a terrible franchise with a terrible owner. That's what it is.
In the past, they didn't tell us that. This year, they did.
Right. They've been hot garbage for decades, and they've had an owner who's had the team for a while, and he's been terrible, and so they're terrible.
It's a lot of terrible, and you want to see more terrible.
Rebuilding.
You want to keep seeing them lose. All right, book it or forget it, Stephen A. This one I feel like is kind of interesting. The Chiefs will be competitive against the Packers. Here's why. Because when we were sitting here the other day and you guys were talking about you would take Aaron Rodgers, you would take the Chiefs, and Keyshawn was holding it against the Chiefs, Mahomes, all the talent that's around them. Now we get to see this team without having Mahomes.
Exactly.
You think they do anything?
No, I think they make it competitive. I think they ultimately lose this game. It's in Kansas City, that rabid fan base at Arrowhead Stadium. I mean, I think it's something that will benefit them in terms of keeping them competitive in this game. When you have the requisite weapons that they have in Hill and Kelsey, Shady McCoy, Williams, etc., with Andy Reid doing the play calling, I definitely think it's a situation where they can make the game interesting because as great as Aaron Rodgers looked last week, the bottom line is the offense doesn't appear to be that prolific every single week. There's still things they're figuring out. I think that ultimately it'll be a close game, but the Green Bay Packers will pull away in the fourth quarter, but it won't be an annihilation.
I say forget it for this reason. The Packers have a much improved secondary. It's the run defense that could use a little work. Aaron Rodgers looked so good last week. He spread it around so well. Some were saying, I think on ESPN.com, it was like, is this the best game he's ever had?
Yeah.
So the run defense is weak. So how's Andy Reid going to use the run when you're down in the game 2 touchdowns? Or like immediately Aaron Rodgers, because it's not like the Chiefs have a good defense. So that combination, I think, means that the Packers can run it up on the Chiefs and they're going to win. They're going to blow them out, I think, at Arrowhead without Mahomes.
How long do you think they can rest Mahomes?
As long as you need to. I mean, don't mess around with him. But the fact that he's even walking around on the field's a good sign.
No, for sure. Book it or forget it. Stephen A., the Staples Center is the new mecca of the NBA.
Oh, book it, without question. With the Lakers and the Clippers being title contenders, I've said this on several occasions over the last several months. It's the first time in NBA history that all 82 games, all 82 nights of an NBA season, an arena will host a championship contender. Because if it's just one team, you got 41 road games, 41 home games.
Yeah, of course.
But now you have 2 teams playing in the same arena. So all 82 games will host a championship contender. That has never happened in NBA history as far as I can tell. And that's why that's what I think makes LA, the Staples Center, the hub of the basketball world.
Book it, and not only book it for this year, this Staples Center is now more a mecca of basketball than any place has ever been. Like, because if you take it all the way through the postseason, there are going to be over likely 100 dates of like must-watch basketball
all right,
at Staples.
Clippers, the hotter ticket right now, too. We had so much fun out here in LA. Some really good moments. We want you guys to check them out. Thanks for hanging with us. Have a fantastic weekend. See you Monday.
Yes, sir. We got a full house out here in LA getting you set for the season opener.
It kills me because I'm a Lakers fan.
First take in the house. Your boy is here.
Great to have Michael Wilbon with us. Meta World Peace in the house. Good to see you.
It's so good to be here.
The Lakers are one prime Meta World piece away, one Ron Artest away from going all the way.
Actor Michael Ealy in the house. Miles Brown Blackish. That airs tonight.
I am thrilled to be here because I watched the show. Nobody called me. I asked to come on.
If you watch Power, you know what I'm talking about. Lorenz Tate in the house. So
Councilman Tate.
Councilman Tate.
I'm really not interested in the Chicago Bears right now. I'm interested in power. I can't deny it. I just can't deny it.
Oh, okay.
If that's how I thought, that's exactly what the hell I would say. But I don't think LeBron is scared. It sounds like I'm in the barbershop right now because neither one of you are right.
As you've often made the case to me on this show, a lot of times it's about the way you feel. So I'd like to have a heart-to-heart with you about LeBron James, and thank you very much. Stephen A., there's a time in every